For a while now, I have been essentially cock-teasing all of you with the video that I've been wanting to do where I discuss the Xbox One. At this time, I have two of the next-gen consoles, the Wii U and the Xbox One. Let's get some things out of the way before we start this video off. Number one, this is not me trying to sell you the Xbox One. This is me giving you my opinion on what I feel about the Xbox One. This is from my standpoint. If you don't like it, that's okay. Let me know why you don't like it in the comment section after you watch the video. Hear me out first. I'm not trying to sell it to you. This is not an ad. I'm not sponsored. This is my 100% opinion on the system. Number two, because I only have two of the next-gen systems and do not yet have the PlayStation 4, there will be some comparisons using the Wii U. I know me saying Wii U triggers some people and they instantly want to thumbs down the video, but do me a huge favor and save those thumbs down for later, because not all of these comparisons are going to be, as you would view them, negative. And if I say something nice about the Wii U and you thumbs down the video, you'll probably feel bad afterwards. But I have the Xbox One. I've had it for a while now. You guys saw when I put up the video unboxing it. I've had it for a while now. And I basically want to just talk about its systems, talk about its games, and give you guys my viewpoint on the system overall. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. I'm not going to be picking the system up though, because if you're not aware of this, the Xbox One is actually a big, bulky, heavy beast. I was actually kind of laughing when PS4 was announced, a new version of the PS4 was announced in which it was lighter. And I think, like, once you get it into your entertainment center, it doesn't matter how heavy or light it is, because you're probably not going to be moving it a lot. Now, of course, I've taken, like, my PS3 and my 360 to friends' houses, but when it comes to the PS4 and the Xbox One, I'm probably not going to do that a whole hell of a lot. But the Xbox One is very, very heavy. I'm a big dude, okay? I'm not like some little sissy femboy. I'm a big fucking dude. And the Xbox One is quite hefty. So if you're a younger audience member, you know, you're getting your mom or your dad to get this for you, do be careful. Don't try to pick it up yourself. Get your mom or your dad to put it in the entertainment center for you. Don't try to transport it. It's heavy. I'm not worried about you breaking the system. I'm worried about you breaking yourself. You drop this thing on your foot from anything above like 3 feet, that's going to be a hospital visit. The thing is heavy. Be careful, please. As for the design of the system, to be perfectly honest, I like it a little bit better than the original 360. I like it a little bit better than even the 360S or the 360E, which was modeled to look like the Xbox One. I like the angular design of it. Again, it's a big, bulky beast, but I'm an American and I like big, bulky beasts. It's got numerous vents on it. I'm not real crazy about the touch stuff. I don't know why it is that, like when PS3 first launched, it had touch stuff all over. You know, eject and power, it's all touch. And the 360 had buttons. As the generations progressed, they kind of crossed over, whereas now the 360 has a bunch of touch functionality and the PS3 has nothing but buttons. I don't know why the Xbox One has nothing but touch stuff, and I know the PS4 was originally released with the touch stuff and they're going to the buttons now. I like buttons. I know buttons can break down over time, but I spent like 20 minutes going, how do I turn this thing on? And I just pushed the little Xbox symbol and it turned on. But on the front of the system you have the touch power button and the touch eject button, and everything looks sleek, it looks nice, it feels good. On the side of the system, however, is an issue. The side of the system has the sync button as well as a USB port. Now, if there's one thing I like about the Wii U, it's the fact that if you flip down the front panel on the Wii U, you have two USB ports easily accessible in the front of the system. That's not something that can be said about the Xbox One. Now, I don't know about your entertainment setup, but with my entertainment setup, right now the Xbox One's on the end, the Wii U is on the other end, and in the middle right now is my 360, which when I get a PS4, I'll move it, and I'll put the PS4 in between the two systems, so it'll be a lovely little index of small to big or big to small, depending on how you're looking at it. That USB port, as well as the sync buttons, are not going to be very easily accessible, and I'm not redoing my entire setup just for that. I find it kind of asinine that you have something on the side of the system. Personally, when I think of a system of any kind, whether it be a console or anything, you know, anything, The only thing that should have stuff on the side of it is like a computer, but when it's a console or something, the side of the console should be either touching your television, touching your entertainment center, or touching another console. It shouldn't have anything that you need to access. On the back of the system, of course, you have your default power jack cable. You've got your HDMI for your television. You've got an HDMI even for your satellite. Now, personally, I'm not going to be using my satellite because if I want to watch TV, I'll just change the channel. I'm not going to do that through the Xbox. I buy these consoles to play video games, not to watch television. The problem I have with the Xbox One is a problem that the Wii U doesn't have, and that is the Xbox One does not allow for AV cables. Now, I understand that there's a bit of goofiness with this, what with us trying slowly to move away from that and get into the realm of high definition. I still feel like these systems are transitionary. I want to be able to, like if I take the Xbox to a friend's house and he doesn't have an HDMI television, all of a sudden we can't play. I like the option for AV cables, and with the Wii U, my Wii's original video cables still work, and I can take the Wii U down to like grandma's and Nana can play Mario and all that shit. But the Xbox One does not have the option on the back of the system for AV cables. That's a bit of a problem for me. Another thing that the Xbox has, though, that it actually trumps the Wii U on, is it has the option, I don't know if it's wireless at all, honestly. Anywho, it has an Ethernet jack. I like a hard line into my router as opposed to a wireless connection. The Wii U, unfortunately, only has a wireless connection. Granted, it works very well, but I still like to be able to jack stuff directly into the router because it feels like a more formed and reliable connection as opposed to just floating around in the ether. Anytime that I'm wirelessly connected to something and suddenly I lose image or I get slowed down or whatever, I always wonder what happened. If it's jacked directly into the router, then I have a better idea of what has occurred. It's either a loose cable, a faulty cable, or my router needs resetting because something's going on with AT&T. But the back of the system also has a few other things, including a Connect jack, which I will never use. I understand that some of the early adopters were unfortunately forced into spending an extra $100 on a Connect. I myself view it as a useless peripheral, not just with the Xbox One, but also with the Xbox 360. There's not enough content there, and there's not enough robust usability to really verify buying one of these fucking things. It's kind of useless. If you have a Connect and you were forced to buy it, I'm not going to harp on you. If you're one of these dumbasses that's like, the Connect's great, I don't have to push buttons, then I'll berate you all day long. You're a fucking idiot, and you don't need to spend any money on that fucking thing. If you're going to buy an Xbox One, just get the system. Avoid the Connect entirely. It's useless. It's so useless that Microsoft is abandoning it. But that's pretty much the way the console is, and so we're going to move from talking about the console into talking about the controller, and that's where a lot of my issues are going to be discussed. First and foremost, here is an Xbox One controller. I don't know how well you can see it, I don't know how good the lighting is in here, but if at any point you feel like opening a new window and getting a picture of the Xbox One controller, you can see it a little bit better. This right here is the Special Forces controller. This is one of the newer models that has a headphone jack. Its buttons are a little bit quieter. Just one second. This is one of the original controllers that came with my Xbox. Now, if you can hear this, that's one of the differences between this new controller and one of the original ones. They just tweaked it a little bit, made a few adjustments and a few interesting things. Now, there's a lot of problems I have with this controller, but there's also a few good things. So I'm going to talk about the good things first and then bitch about the bad things later. First and foremost, I discovered this the other day. I didn't know that this headphone jack was for more than just like a headset to communicate during multiplayer. If I put a pair of just like iPod headphones into this jack and plug my ears in, I can stream sound audio from the game into the controller and into my head. So what I mean is, I can turn the volume all the way down on the television, and let's say I was playing in the living room and people were trying to enjoy a movie or something. Turn the volume all the way down, on a separate TV of course, it's not the Wii U. Turn the volume all the way down and I can enjoy the surround sound in my head of playing Call of Duty or Dying Light or something like that without ever disturbing anyone else. See, I don't live in this house by myself, and so I don't want to disturb somebody else with the sound of robust combat when I could just put a pair of headphones in, plug it in, and then I can hear everything on the game. It's actually really fucking useful, and I enjoy it quite a bit. The other positive things I can say about this controller are pretty much the buttons and the D-pad. These two buttons that are on the front which I don't know what they're technically called. I'm going to call them Start and Select because that's what the fuck I was raised on. Start and Select feel good. They're easily accessible by either of my thumbs at any time during gameplay. They function. They're not too loud to click. They feel good. I actually like the face buttons, the Y, B, A, and X, because they look really good now, really sleek. The black backdrop with the colored letters actually looks a little bit more mature as opposed to what I look at on the old 360 controller. And if you guys can see the comparison, the 360 controller now looks a little bit goofy in kindergarten compared to the new Xbox One controller when it comes to the color scheme and the format of the buttons. I think it just looks better. It pops a little bit better, and it looks a little bit less goofy than just the solid colors on the old buttons. Also, the D-pad is actually very solid, despite being kind of loud. When I'm playing a game and maybe entering a name or, you know, renaming something or whatever, I'm using the D-pad, it's extremely loud. But I like that it's not a big raised up tumor like it is on the 360 controller, and it actually is a proper form-fitting D-pad this time as opposed to the 8-way fucking clusterfuck that the original 360's D-pad was. It feels really good. However, everything else about the controller pisses me the fuck off. So let's start off with something very annoying. I already showed you guys that these things click, and they're a little loud, but the fact of the matter is, the triggers as well as these tabs are incredibly uncomfortable. What I mean is, when I'm playing the game, the triggers, the thing that was jarring at first was that they rumble independently. The triggers will literally rumble, not the controller. The controller rumbles, but there's mini vibrators in here. Mini vibrators. You get what I mean. That sounds sexual. There's mini vibrations. There's deep sensations in the triggers. At first it was a little bit jarring, but now it's not a big problem. I do wish more games incorporated it now that I've gotten used to it. Like Wolfenstein The New Order, I pull the left trigger to fire my left weapon and it doesn't vibrate. It's kind of disappointing. But initially that was jarring, but my problem is mostly the triggers themselves. They feel a little bit like tumors now. I'm sure some people like this wraparound thing, but when I fired the original 360's triggers, it felt like I was firing a trigger. I don't know if any of you have ever shot a gun, but it doesn't have any of this curvy shit. It's a very straight trigger, depending on which weapon you're firing. I'm not going to compare with real-world guns or anything like that, but I just would like to say that this is a little bit uncomfortable. I know some people are probably like, oh, it feels better, I can rest my fingers better. I don't see it. For me, it's kind of weird. It's hard to get used to, and I don't like it. Not to mention, during some heated gameplay, one thing I never noticed about the old 360, but I noticed with this, is if you pull these back far enough, there's hard plastic back here. So if you're playing and jamming, all of a sudden you stub your fucking finger on this hard plastic, or if you've got nails, you could get your nail caught in there and fucking break that bitch off. This hard plastic back here is extremely uncomfortable, and I think that they should do something about the design. Either make it so the triggers don't come as far down, or pull the plastic back a little bit, because it's very hard plastic compared to the sleek triggers, and it doesn't feel good when you fucking hit it. Not only that, the tabs themselves. Am I the only one that feels like now, when I'm playing, the tabs are a million miles above? It feels very unnatural to have my fingers come up that high just to touch these things. It's very uncomfortable, especially with games that really incorporate the tabs. Like Dying Light, you have to do this to jump. Shadow Warrior, you hold this to run. Any game that incorporates that, other than throwing a grenade or maybe kicking somebody, it's very uncomfortable. And when it comes down to it, I don't like how the tabs are formed or how high they feel compared to the triggers. I don't know what it's like on the PS4 controller, but I don't like it here. However, the absolute worst thing about this controller for me would probably stem from the sticks themselves. I don't know about you guys, but I've got big, fat, gigantic thumbs. I don't play my games like this. I play my games like this. And on my original 360 controller, I have some Orb thumb grip covers, which basically cover up the 360's original sticks, and I can put my big fat thumb on there, and it feels a bit more comfortable. That is the wrong controller. Where is my controller? That's the one Tyler was using. Sorry about that. Right here, these are orbs. These are not the original 360 sticks. I can actually show you how they're just a bit bigger and a bit smoother in certain areas. Now, I know a lot of people are probably like, well, Brett, why don't you just take them off of this controller and put them on the Xbox One? I can't do that because the Xbox One sticks are different. They're smaller. That's the problem. They're very, very small. Now, I don't want a giant fucking fucking arcade stick, but I want something that's a little bit heftier than these itty bitty motherfuckers right here. They're very uncomfortable, but that's not the big issue. The big issue with me is they have ridges on them now. This shit feels uncomfortable, just rubbing it gives me goosebumps. But when I'm in long, prolonged sessions of gameplay, that shit gets uncomfortable. It starts making sensitive spots on my thumbs. I've never had that issue with any other controller ever, where I've got sensitivity in my thumbs from rubbing up against this ridgy shit. Not to mention, we all know for a fact that if you don't clean your controllers regularly, they get fucking nasty and gunky. The way these sticks are designed now, if you sweat a lot in game, you're gonna get shit all up in here. And I have to take like a toothpick and clean these bitches out daily because I like everything nice and clean. And it's a horrible mess, and I fucking hate them. They feel uncomfortable, they're tiny, and I don't like them. I have, of course, ordered some new orbs that are going to be arriving sometime in August, but right now these are definitely uncomfortable. That's my biggest issue with the controller, but there's one more thing I have to bitch about before we move on to something else. These controllers still use batteries. I don't know why they still use batteries, but they do. It'd be very easy for Microsoft just to put a lithium battery in here so that you didn't have to worry about that bullshit. Why do they still use batteries? You went a million miles forward with this new design with a flat back, and it's comfortable and it's sleek and it's perfect, but you still have fucking batteries. This is nothing more than a ploy to get you to buy more batteries, or to get you to spend out an extra amount of cash to buy an internal battery or a charging station. Anyone who watches my pickups videos knows that recently I had a charging station sent to me by my cousin Crystal. Unfortunately, that charging station was a scam because it doesn't come with internal batteries. So with that charging station, either they're dumbasses and don't know that there's no internal battery, or they're like, here, you have a charging station, now you just need to go elsewhere and buy internal batteries for it. It's fucking stupid. It's a horrible idea, and I wish people would stop fucking doing it. Internal batteries are great for controllers. It gives us a lot better range of adaptability when it comes to our gaming sessions. For instance, if I'm playing a game and all of a sudden, oh no, my batteries are dying, I got two options. I can either stop playing or go down to the fucking store and buy some batteries. With the Wii-U, with the PS3, with the PS4, all I've got to do is plug that bitch up. I can either stop for a bit and let it charge, or I can play while it's charging. Batteries are a bad fucking idea, and this is a huge issue on an otherwise fairly decent, if not me nitpicking, controller. I do like the overall scheme, but unfortunately there's a lot of little issues with this controller. Hell, I didn't even mention the fact that the guide button is way the motherfuck up here now. Am I expected to reach this with either of my thumbs and press it properly? The only way I press this during gameplay is like this. Granted, the Xbox guide is not for gameplay at all, so it's not a huge issue, but it's still something that needs to be mentioned. Whether it's the Wii U, the PS3, the Xbox 360, you think of the guide button being in the center of the controller, and I think if I'm correct, the PS4 does have the guide button somewhere low right here. That's much better than being way the fuck up here. But I'm going to stop bitching about the controller now and talk about other aspects of the Xbox One. But let's just get out of the way. This controller, I really do like the headphone jack and the gaming in the ears, but there's so many problems with this controller. I just wish I could use the 360. Now, when it comes down to the Xbox One's user interface, it's a clusterfuck. When I turned on the Xbox One and was greeted what essentially reminded me of Windows 8, I about seized up like Fry from Futurama. I hate Windows 8. It's a horrible, horrible operating system, and the fact that the Xbox One tries very vehemently to copy it is a bad thing. I don't like the Xbox One's user interface at all. Trying to find the game, trying to find the app you want, trying to get your pins in proper order, trying to do anything on there is a fucking mess. Now, maybe this is just for me actually using the PS3's user interface and getting used to how neat and organized and special everything is, but I hate it. Even the Xbox 360 looks like shit now compared to the PS3. I really hope that Sony kept that sleek user interface for the PS4. I don't know yet. Don't spoil it for me, because then I'm going to have to bitch about it in another video. But when it comes down to the user interface for the Xbox 360, it's just plain and fucking simple bad. It's bad. I want a game tab, a friends tab, online tab. Make shit better. Okay? Also, stop throwing ads all over every fucking thing. If I wanted to see ads, I'd subscribe to your shitty Xbox Live Gold service. Okay? I don't like seeing ads on my homepage at all. I use ad block on the computer. Hell, if you're watching this video right now and there's an ad on it, you have my permission. Fucking use ad block, because ads are shit and they're fucking annoying. I don't want to see them. When it comes down to the online, however, not online gameplay, online store, it's not much better. It's still a bit of a clusterfuck. Trying to find a game proper is a pain in the ass, not to mention finding demos, finding this or finding that. I don't know what it is with these people trying to make it like Windows 8. It's uncomfortable and it's cringeworthy to use. Again, I hope that Sony kept their shit real sleek and real professional. I want shit to be easy to find. I want shit to be easy to identify. When it comes down to the user interface of the Xbox One and the online, it's all fucking horrible. I hate it. The Wii U does it fucking better. When I go to the Wii U's online store, I can find a fucking game. It's all very easily identifiable. It's neat. It's in a nice web page design link. It's perfect. Okay? Even the Wii U's interface is better because I can just boop, game, boop, friends, boop, online. It's all right there. The Xbox One does a very poor job of all that shit. But let's go on to the last thing about the Xbox One I want to discuss, and that's the few games that I have for it. As of right now, I have things like Warframe and the Halo Master Chief Collection on the Xbox One's hard drive. I also have Shadow Warrior, Dying Light, Wolfenstein the New Order, Wolfenstein the Old Blood, and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. When it comes down to any console, the most important aspect is not the controller, it's not the hardware, it's not the user interface, it's the games that you can play upon it. And here's where a few people are probably going to thumbs the video down. But I implore you, fucking speak, Brett. I implore you to wait for a moment. When it comes down to the games for the Xbox One, not a lot of exclusives yet. I do plan to get things like Gears of War Ultimate, Gears of War 4. There's a lot of games I'm looking forward to. Scalebound. I'll eventually play Sunset Overdrive. When it comes down to it, though, my experience with the games on the Xbox One is vastly superior to my experience with games on the Wii U. As of right now with the Wii U, I'm still waiting on Xenoblade Chronicles to wow me. If Xenoblade Chronicles X comes out and it's super amazing, I'll do a follow-up video and I'll ask for forgiveness and say that the Wii U is not a complete waste of my time. But with the Xbox One, I've had nothing but fun with all the games. I've been killing zombies in Dying Light, I've been slaying Nazis in Wolfenstein, I've been fighting demons in Shadow Warrior, and shooting at other super cyber terrorists in Call of Duty. It's been a hell of a lot of fun. And that's the key word. Fun. Now, if you want me to play the Wii U, and you want me to trudge through the library of games that I do not like, that's fine. But let me ask you, what's more important to you? That I'm having fun, or that I'm playing the games that you want me to like? I like Nintendo. I like stuff like The Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Star Fox. The only problem is, there's none of this on the Wii U yet. That's why I have an issue with it. I don't like Mario Kart, I don't like Smash. Get the fuck over it. I like games like this, and granted these are all first-person shooters, I need to get some other stuff. I really want to play like Alien Isolation, Fallout 4, Batman Arkham Knight's going to be a game I get on PS4. Hell, I'm in the process of getting the Batman games on PS3. But when it comes down to it, I've had fun. Fun. Nothing but fun. But there's one problem with my fun that has really pissed me the fuck off. I understand this is the same with the PS4, and this needs to be nipped in the bud right now. I have a 500 gigabyte hard drive and it's already filled up and I've got fucking 6 games. That is unsatisfactory. Why is it that these games have such a huge install base? Why? I don't understand what's the problem. I want to play it from the disc. The only stuff I want to install is anything that you absolutely necessarily need, okay? When I'm installing a game and it's over 30 gigs of data, that's fucking horrid. Shadow Warrior is about 6 to 7 gigs of data. That's awesome. That's great. That's perfect. Dying Light is around 20 something gigs. That I can still deal with. But when I installed Halo the Master Chief Collection, granted it's the digital version, it was 60 fucking gigs of data. Fucking Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is 45 gigs of data. That's unacceptable. And I don't appreciate it. If I can say one good thing about the Wii U in this video, and this is the reason you should thumb up the video instead of being a cunt and thumbing it down, the Wii U does not need an install. 32 gig hard drive is still bullshit, but I can fucking play my games without having to install a single thing. I put Bayonetta in there, I'm playing Bayonetta in like 5 minutes. Hell, I'm playing Bayonetta in less than 5 minutes. However, with any game I get on the Xbox One, I think, oh shoot, I can't wait to play. I gotta install. So I pop it in there and install it. Then I gotta download patches. Then I gotta do this, do that, do whatever. Bayonetta, I'm playing. I'm fucking playing. So when it comes down to the Xbox One, I do have a lot of issues, but overall I have fun with the games. Keyword, fun. And I should expect anyone to want fun from a console that they purchase. The Wii U, not turning this into a Wii U video, just doesn't offer that third-party support. There's a lot of third-party support coming to the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4. You're not just getting exclusives like Bloodborne or Uncharted 4 or Gears of War 4. You're getting other titles like Far Cry 4. You're getting titles like Alien Isolation. You're getting titles like Batman Arkham Knight. I like having a bit of variety in my gaming palette. With the Wii U, though, right now there's just not a lot that interests me. I understand people are like, well, we've got Splatoon. I don't like Splatoon. I'm sorry. If you like Splatoon, play Splatoon. Me personally, if I'm going to play any kind of shooter, I kind of want it to use guns instead of fucking whatever that is in Splatoon. But the Xbox One's library that I have so far is enjoyable. I've had a lot of fun with these games. And that fun has not been hindered by an internet connection. If you guys were wondering, yes, the Xbox One works offline. Well, the problem is that the achievements do not unlock offline, which is a fucking annoyance. But when it comes down to it, I don't need an internet connection to play my games. I can install them offline, they work, they're not patched. But, everything is functional. Everything is enjoyable. There are my nitpicks, but that again is something that's for me and it may not necessarily be for you. You might absolutely love the Xbox One controller. You might absolutely love the huge install base and the clusterfuck of an interface. But, quite frankly, I think this video is going on a little long if you notice that jump cut. When it comes down to the Xbox One, you're probably wondering, hey Brett, do you think I should get one? Maybe you didn't want one at the beginning of this video. Maybe you want one now. Maybe you were waiting to get my opinion to decide whether or not you're going to buy one. When it comes down to the Xbox One, should you get one now? No. What you should do is wait till Halo 5 is out, Gears of War Ultimate is out, Gears of War 4 is out, hell, even wait till Scalebound is out. Wait till there's a few more exclusives. Granted, if you're in it for the fucking third-party support, then yes, buy one now. There's plenty of games to support you. But as for exclusive titles that are good, not that Rise bullshit, you're going to want to wait just a little bit longer. Plus, the longer you wait, the more bugs and kinks they'll get out. And the fact that I waited meant I didn't have to waste money on a fucking Kinect. And that's always good. Early adopters are not bad, but those of you that bought it with the Kinect, I feel so bad for you. Not to mention those of you that bought it when it was going to be a DRM-ridden piece of shit. But wait a little bit longer before buying an Xbox One. I hope that you've gotten something out of this video. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Maybe you still hate the Xbox One. Maybe you don't feel like you're so against it now. Again, this was not me trying to sell it to you. This is my opinion. This is my viewpoint. If you don't like my opinion or my viewpoint, I'm sorry. Go make your own video and tell me what you think about the Xbox One. Or comment down below and tell me what you think about the Xbox One. I'd like to discuss it with you. If you have any questions or any inquiries, please send them my way. When it comes down to it, the system overall has a lot of issues, but it also has a lot of potential. And the fact that we've got Phil Spencer at the head of Xbox now means that we can only go up from here. No longer do we have to just deal with it. Now we can have our voices heard and we can have somebody at the helm of this ship that knows where the fuck they're going. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that you give me a thumbs up as opposed to a thumbs down. I hope I can hear from you. Whether you like it or not, let me know. And I don't know what else you guys want me to say. I've enjoyed the Xbox One experience a lot more than I ever thought I would. And if I look at myself a few years back, or just a year back, I kind of laugh now knowing what I know now versus what I knew then. If I had known then that I would be enjoying one of these things, I don't know. But when it comes down to it, it's been a very entertaining experience, and I look forward to playing a lot more fun games on this system. I also look forward to eventually getting a PlayStation 4. If you're new to this channel, you don't know who the fuck I am, keep in mind, I may say some shit you don't like hearing, but I'm the most unbiased motherfucker you're going to find. I like all kinds of stuff, and I hate all kinds of stuff. So again, please understand that this is an opinion, and you don't have to take it so personally. And if you still dislike the video or dislike the topic, then there's nothing I can do against your thumbing down. But if you do want to discuss in the comment section and talk about this system, that's cool. I want to hear from you. I want to know what you think. And again, Questions or inquiries are welcome. So, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting the channel. Thank you for everything that you do. And I hope that you all have a great day.